What is going on? You're listening to the All Burgundy and Go Everything Commanders pre-game show powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. The Commanders are on the road and ready to take on the Philadelphia Eagles in their season finale. I'm Wole and I'm joined by my guys, George and Glenn. What is going on, fellas?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What is good? The season is over. And I forgot to mention this too. Happy 2026 for everybody.
Yeah.
Here.
Happy 2026. I see right here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here, DC Slim in the building. We got folks in the building early. But yeah, before we dive into this the season finale, let's knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Hit us up on X, IG, and TikTok at ABG_everything. Also, like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support our show. The super chats will be prioritized over all comments in the chat. Our pregame is also streaming live on the Urban Sports Scene X handle as well. All right, here's the rundown. We'll chat with Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candy Waller. She'll be joining us live from Lincoln Financial Stadium. We'll also talk about our keys. I don't want to say for a victory, but what we want to see. Not our predictions. It's the last game of the season. I'm not going to even act like it is what it is. All right, anyway, live from the press box in Lincoln Financial Stadium, we got Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candy Waller on. What is going on, Candy?
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sound great. Happy New Year, Candy. Happy 2026.
Happy New Year. Like, I don't even, it's all the same day.
I know, right?
It's all the same day. It's all the same year. I'm like, right. Happy New Year. Sorry. So yeah, but Happy New Year to you all.
Hey, Candy, who's inactive? Who's inactive today? Forget the notice. Who's inactive?
For the Commanders?
Who's inactive?
Jaden Marcus, Sam Hartman. He's the emergency third quarterback. So basically like how Josh Johnson was when Jaden and Marcus would be playing. Chase Edmonds, Laramie Tunsil, Jalen Holmes, and Sheldon Day are the Commanders inactives today.
And just for kicks and giggles, who are the captains today?
The captains are, that's a very good question. Jacob Martin, J-Mac, Jeremy McNichols, and Colson Yankoff.
Okay. It's over. I thought you're inactive. I'm sorry, actress. Is Payne playing today? Is he dressed? He's playing today? Deron?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Played his last game in DC.
Yes. Happy New Year. New Year.
My bad.
I'm wearing burgundy today. I almost wore burgundy and gold. You almost got me, but no. This is very much this is not red. This is very much burgundy.
Okay. All right. So
playing. Blame Mama Waller.
I will not blame Mama Waller. Will not do that. I can't blame her. Oh, she did? I mean, she's clutch then. I mean, in a good way, she's clutch. Yeah. You said blame. Blame is like a bad thing. All right. She's clutch. All right, she's clutch.
Mama Waller is clutch.
There we go.
She bought me this burgundy shawl.
Hey, George, you got something you want to ask Candy?
Yes. All of a sudden, there's all this smoke around the assistants and all that's come up this week. You know, how do you view all these things that are now this national reporter, that national reporter's reporting all these different things? How do you view the conversation around the coaching staff this week as we come to this final game?
Are you asking me, is it true or is it asking?
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering. Like, there's been nothing until now. It feels like there's been not even a little bit of talk, and now all of a sudden we're coming to the final game. Oh, there's this alleged non-alignment between Cliff and Adam, and Cliff may be going even if he doesn't get a head coaching job and all this. And I just your view of that this is bubbling up now as we reach the final Sunday of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's just that time of year, where a lot of that starts to leak or come out. In terms of like specifics, I mean, we can go all the way back to Joe Witt Jr. I don't think that's a surprise, right? Anything regarding the defensive coordinator role. When we were in Madrid and he did his kind of final press conference with us, with the media, he went around the room and he shook everybody's hand individually and talked to us individually. And so that kind of made me feel like, all right, but this is just not the type of staff that's going to do something in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff that's done happens during the season. Does that make sense? People are making, they're making their connections, they're networking, and so you kind of don't want to leave anybody hanging out there. They just go ahead and, just wait till the season is over. And then move on from there. But of course, it's good old networking. In terms of Cliff Kingsbury, here's what I'll say to that: the Minnesota Vikings game. Okay, so we use your clues on that one. You literally had everyone except for Austin Eckler and Luke McCaffrey, and you scored 0 points. It's one thing to lose the football game. It is something entirely different to only be missing technically 2 starters, right? And go scoreless. Because even when I asked Cliff that week, he told me, right, when I asked him just about that game and looking forward to who they have next, the Giants, it was, he said it. This just doesn't happen in the NFL. Exactly. So with that being said, and I mean, and I think there's still reason for there to be a belief, right, that despite injuries, 4 wins is unacceptable. Right? Because at this point, you either going to you got to look at either 2 things: either the folks that are being brought in aren't good enough, or you're not playing them.
That is
right?
true.
So you got to look at, I would say that game is a key indicator, right? And also there are multiple people on this roster that all have been brought in by Adam Peters and his staff. And, last week, and I even posted the transcript from a question that Ben Standing asked, which was, when Cliff said last week, he knows he could have done a better job at scheming and maximizing players. So he's now at this point publicly admitting he didn't do a good job. And even going back to the Minnesota game, he literally said there were 30 plays. He didn't say 3 plays. He said there were 30 plays that he would like to take back. So,
Wow.
That game, and I think just the stuff that he's saying in press conferences, and the fact that, hey, we all saw it. It's not like a secret. And hey, 4 wins are still unacceptable. So despite the injuries, 4 wins are unacceptable for this roster. And there are people in the building that feel very strongly about that. So
I do want to give a quick shout out to my man Cam. Happy birthday, Cam, man. So I hope
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Appreciate you, man.
From one, you say you're going to see the Wizards from one Wizards team to another. But
the Wizards, hey, look, Wizards on a little
turning
winning
it around.
streak. They got a couple winning streak. Wizards got a little winning streak going on.
Hey,
They got a streak.
smoke and mirrors, fellas. Smoke and mirrors.
Hey, shout out to Trey Johnson, man. He killing it. Trey Johnson killing it.
Trey Johnson is very good. I was talking about him this morning. I was like, the rookie is like that.
He is.
He's like, hey,
Sure is.
when you got a question for Candy?
Yeah, Candy. With last week the surgeons of the running game with Bill getting the first 100-yard rushing of his career. Will we see a lot more running to today against this Philadelphia defense? Will we see Cliff's swan song? Is he gonna stay true to what he does, or is he gonna run the football?
I've been saying it for a long time that it's like, hey, you're auditioning for a job. I mean, he came. Look, he was dressed for success. Remember, I used to talk about that. I can tell you how the day's gonna go based on how he's dressed. He's certainly dressed for success, so that's a good sign. And I would hope that he's going to scheme and maximize like somebody who wants to have a job, whether that be here or somewhere else. Because interviewing for jobs, I mean, let's be, Cliff interview, he talked to people last year, you know what I mean? You talk to people, whatever. So, and he hasn't had a good showing. He really hasn't had a good showing.
In the interviews or like this season?
I'm talking about in the season, based on his film, I don't think anybody else would, you have essentially shown that you cannot adjust to any injury at this point.
Right. So,
and injuries are bound to happen. So it's like, what you gonna do?
So we talk about Cliff, but how much of that, with whatever happens to Cliff Kingsbury, is helping Dan Quinn? Because I don't want Dan. I guess there seem in some lights Dan Quinn is getting a pass. Do you feel like he's getting a pass because of the injuries?
I don't, and the reason why I don't is because of the culture. And if I wasn't directly aware of free agents that wanted to come play here because of Dan Quinn, maybe I would feel differently. Right? Because people love to talk about things when they're going good, but what about when it's going bad? And you have players on this team that everyone still does like that are singing Dan Quinn's praises. Right? And it's not because they're like, I'm trying to keep my job. They're like, yo, it's 4 wins, but he keeping it together. He keeping us together. And he's still an attraction. You still have to look attractive to potential free agents, right? Remember that was an issue before when people were like, nobody wants to come to Washington. Well, guess what? People do. And Dan Quinn is one of the reasons why. So I think that as long as you have an attraction, right, for potential players, it is what it is. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't some feedback given, right? Because when do you step in? When do you step back? What's considered micromanaging? What's considered, accountability for all? I don't know. But what I do know is 4 wins is unacceptable. And nobody's happy about 4 wins. Even with the injury. The injuries do matter. Let me be clear, because I've been talking about that so much. When a starter quarterback goes back, I can't stop talking about it. But they still felt like it should have been more than 4,
right?
Which is fair. Could have been 5. Could have been 6. It should have been more than 4.
But when you talk about the 4 wins, and I thought about this the other day. 4 wins is unacceptable, and 2 of those come against the New York Giants, and you didn't win any. Only games that you won in your conference were the 2 games against the New York Giants. You lost all. You lost all your conference games, which is unacceptable.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I shared it here. I for sure believe that there were 3 games left out there. I will continue to say Chicago, but I feel like that was more player execution than anything, unfortunately. But Chicago, Kansas City, Miami, those 3 games get you to 7, and then it's debatable around the Broncos game. Right, the Broncos game. I think the second Dallas game, they could actually do on Christmas. I think there was some things differently they could have done there. But for certain, pick any 3 you want. I still think there's 3 left out there, and this could have very well been a 7-win season. But that's why people are unhappy, because they still feel like, based on what they had, like, I'm not making it up. It's some of this should have gone a different way, for sure.
Losing 11 of 12 to finish the season is
not even.
Even with a backup quarterback. And that right there, DC, we will never forget.
Well, and the other thing becomes, what we've continued to hear is that the quarterbacks, they all operate on the same scheme. They all operate in the same, what I mean? Able to play. I mean, we've been talking about that since last year, so that's not new news. But the fact that didn't happen, people have accountability measures to take up. If I bring players in, and I feel like you didn't maximize the players I brought in, whether I drafted them or whether they're a free agent or whether they're a practice squad guy. Adam Peters has proved he knows how to build a team. He knows how this goes. He's been a part of championship structures.
Yeah.
So if he didn't see where the people that he's bringing in to help immediately, I think that would be reason to maybe feel some type of way, based on, the public reports. And I mean, we all saw that yes, Austin Eckler went down, but your running backs were still your healthiest group at one point in time. And the run was not, we all know the run wasn't effectively utilized. It just was not. It was not. And it was like screaming from the mountaintops, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And you didn't see it until the second Giants game, the second week in December.
Facts.
So what's the point in doing that now? I mean, that's fine. That's great. Doing whatever. But at that point, you're officially eliminated from the playoffs. And so it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like, this situation, like, obviously, I mean, everybody has a part in it. You know what I mean? From to your point, from the coordinator to head coach, you know what I mean? Because it gets to a point where, 2 wins, you got 4 wins and half of your wins came against the Giants. So like, that's just something that I feel like who's ever, if some folks are back in terms of who's on this staff, I think Dan's will be back. He's going to have to adjust of what he did this season as a leader. I mean, as a leader in terms of getting wins and losses, he's going to have to assess his situation, how he can either step in early if situations are going awry or whatnot, or, bring in guys who can kind of handle the adjustment. Now, the injuries do play a part. I'm not going to act like they don't.
1,000%.
They don't, losing Jaden Daniels for like most of the season.
That's your playoff contention right there.
Yeah, and also,
you're not making the playoffs without
and also like, I'll say this much: just having Jaden on the field gives people extra, that extra boost of confidence. It's like when you have your guy out there, you feel better about your team. When you don't have him out there, you're not gonna play the same. You know what I mean? Granted, Marcus he tried his best, but Marcus Mariota isn't Jaden Daniels in terms of the belief system, right? When you have that guy out there, it's simple. Just like when you watch, like you just use basketball or any other sport. And you can use a player in the NFL. When you're missing, for a lot of guys who love Michael Jordan, if you're missing Michael Jordan, the Bulls don't look the same.
Right.
Like they don't play the same. If you're losing to Magic Johnson, I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a Magic fan. When they left, when Magic was gone, they weren't the same. Just one player subtracted. It's a mentality. It's not also the skill of the player, but it's the confidence that player gives you and gives both sides of the ball. So that does play a part. But yeah, I mean, in terms of, but that doesn't, to your point, that doesn't take you off the hook for just losing to only win 4 games at this point. And it's the way you lost, right? The majority of it's the way you lost, to point where DC Slim and other folks are in this chat are talking about, like, to get, not just to lose, but to get dominated is probably like the most concerning thing in the stretch of games that we've seen so far. Yeah,
I think that there was an article that the Washington Post did to Sean Reed, Tom Shad, because I'm looking at him over here. They did an article, if you have the Washington Post, and they polled some of the players. And Jaden Daniels is the muscle for this team.
Yeah.
Just like across the entire league, the starting quarterback
the muscle,
is the muscle for that team. You know what I mean? Like
Daniel Jones.
Exactly what you just said.
Look at Daniel Jones.
Right. Daniel Jones got hurt the way in Indianapolis, and that was the end of it for them.
End of the season. They don't look close to the same. And we're talking about Daniel Jones. We're talking about
Daniel Jones, and they don't look even close to
Daniel Jones.
And it's, and so I want to ask Paul asked the question.
This question right here.
I mean, I think it's simple. If you go and look at the NFLPA surveys, his name consistently comes up. So this is free game, and I know Paul typically listens to me, so that
he does. He does.
Go and look at the NFLPA surveys, so you can see who players would want to play for. When it comes to culture, we all have to remember, because for some reason, everybody thinks that 1 year was a long time.
That's true.
This organization, because Wole and I covered it on site, was pathetic. It was a
horrible
place to be. It was a pathetic place to be. It
was bad. It was bad.
It was a pathetic place to
you.
work.
Worst facilities, worst playing surface, worst
even
everything.
for us, even for media, it was pathetic under Dan Snyder. It was putrid. It was awful. It was terrible. You really only could be here because you loved doing what you did, right?
Yeah.
30 years of pathetic. All right, 30 years of it. Okay. Dan Quinn knows culture. And it's times like now, like I covered the team on site when it was 4 wins just 2 years ago. And I can tell you, I hated coming to work. I can say that with no shame.
Yeah.
The reason why I like coming to work is at the very least, people feel seen and they feel respected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to your point, that's the owner, not Dan. Well, Josh Harris ain't in the building.
Oh, he's not there often, like Dan was?
No.
No.
So
that's a good thing, man. That's a good
you know
thing,
what I mean? You
That's a
have
good
to have people in the building that you like being around.
Yeah.
You gotta like being there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he knows how to talk to people. You know what I mean? Even when you're up or when you're down, he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to connect. And all of the things, I think he's an amazing person. I see it. And here's my thing. I can't go grab him now because he's probably outside, but I can tell you there's quite a few players that would probably love to tell you exactly why they love Dan Quinn. Because unsolicited, they be like, yo, man, DQ a hell of a coach because I've been around this league for a minute and it ain't a lot of places that going to survive what has happened here.
I do want to.
You got players who are injured. All of the players are still rehabbing in Ashburn.
That's wild, though. I know they're still around. That's what's crazy. A lot of them are still around. Which is a
testament to organization. Because we know some players. We know some players that got hurt. I'm going home.
No, a lot of them go home. They don't stay around.
And no, when I say home, there's no contact. We see you right. You talk to my agent. Don't talk to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so Candy, what clues should we be looking at today? What clues?
I think I've been telling y'all ever since the Minnesota game. I said, pay attention to starters, the productivity you're getting out of starters. Who cares who's playing on the other side of the football? Pay attention to what you're getting out of the starters. Pay attention to what you're getting out of the depth pieces. That's my clue. Because at this point, you're already restructuring. You're already trying to craft your roster. Which they would have been doing anyway. Let's be clear. They would have been doing that at this point in time anyway. But you absolutely want to be seeing who you have. Yeah. Who you have from a productivity standpoint. From a performance perspective, your eye test. And I really, 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 really am encouraging people to get into the numbers. Get into the analytics. Because I've even heard people compare different defenses and stuff like that. And I'm like, have you looked at their numbers? Just because they're good at one thing doesn't mean they're good at all things. Yeah. Right? And what is going to be key, and I think Santiago may have asked this question previously, which was, what do they need to do to fix this? Establish the identity. Establish it. Because at this point, I am so clear in life in general that you got to know what it looks like when it's up. You got to know what it looks like when it's down. That's in any relationship. I want to know how you act when you're doing good. I need to know how you act when you're doing bad. But you got to figure out what's this got to look like in order for us to make this work and be successful. And you got to get the personnel that aligns to that. Whether that's your coordinators, that's your position coaches, that's your players. That's your scouting team. That is your evaluators. There are a lot of pieces to this puzzle that make it work. You know what I mean? And that's for Adam and for Dan. Right? Yeah. If proactivity in making decisions, if you waited too late to make a decision, if you waited too long, you know what I mean? Hey, let's just be for real. A bad sign was the Terry Adam holdout. That was your sign that this season wasn't going to go that well.
I thought the Patriots game was a bad sign. That was my sign, but that's a whole.
You know what I mean? That was. But that's before. You know what I'm saying?
It all started bad.
And then the Patriots game.
Yeah, I thought that Patriots game.
The preseason was gonna be bad. The preseason was gonna be bad. The preseason even against the Bengals, it was gonna be bad. It wasn't gonna be good. It wasn't gonna be good. And so, and hey, and I think here's another thing that nobody wants to admit and say out loud. Nobody. Jaden Daniels made the 2024 season.
Yeah.
Jaden.
Yeah, he was special. He was special into
He
2024.
had an impeccable, daggone near perfect season that any quarterback in their career
True.
would love to have had.
Very
He
true.
was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And it made all the difference.
Yeah.
So you had no Jaden to bail you out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing that happened. Now, I've always said, and I've been saying this for a year, I don't believe in single sources of failure. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person is out. You know what I mean? So the fact still remains that, hey, without Jaden Daniels, do I think this team makes the playoffs? Heck no. No way.
Yeah, but they compete. They're supposed to compete better.
But they compete.
Yeah.
They still could have been a 7 or 8 win team.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So everybody knew that. It was like, hey, nobody wants to say Jaden made it. But guess what? To your point, Wole, I guess the Indianapolis Colts saying the same thing about Daniel Jones. Yeah. It's that starting quarterback position is so important. It's so important. And, we've all continued to talk about, the overarching topic. I think it came up here about overall quarterback development. Why is the drop off so huge from QB1 to QB2 to QB3? Like, it just shatters your whole season, right? When your quarterback goes down. You can look at the Baltimore Ravens, look at the season that they have had up and down because Lamar's been hurt. I tell people all the time, the Cincinnati Bengals live and die on the health of Joe Burrow. They got all pro defensive linemen. They got all of these weapons on offense, and they live and die based on the health of Joe Burrow. And when he's healthy, he's fantastic. If he's not, you can forget it.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
same exact thing. But how do you combat that? Because it still didn't have to be 4, even with the injuries.
Good question. You combat that, way that they to combat that. We talked about Jaden not being there, but you also got to remember Terry was in there too, so you missed the 2 components.
Oh yeah,
you missed the 2 components. Without the one, I think if you had a healthy Terry with no Jaden, this team could have won maybe 8 and 9 games.
You still need Terry
with Marcus Mariota.
Absolutely, that was your 1 or your 2, for sure.
Yeah.
And that was always Terry's argument, right? When during the holdout.
Yeah.
That was always his argument. His value to the success of the team. And everybody saw it. You saw it. You know it. And nobody else did themselves any favors either. You know what I'm saying? By not actually. And it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. I sat there. I watched. What was that game? Not the one last night, because those were good. But last week.
You talking about another team?
Chicago and 49ers. Chicago and 49ers.
Yeah.
And as much as everybody thinks highly of what the Chicago Bears are doing defensively, from a takeaway perspective, as much as everybody thinks highly of Robert Saleh and what he does with the 49ers defense, guess what? Could nobody stop them people from scoring touchdowns? They ain't running the football.
That's elite offensive. Those are elite offensive minded dudes.
Exactly. That's my point. So you got a healthy Caleb Williams, you got a healthy Brock Purdy, you got offensive coordinators that's gonna beat you down. You just got to run out of time in the game.
But how much of that is that the fact that Washington didn't bring? I want to say it's right. Quite question. That Washington didn't bring the right players into camp, or bring the right players with the organization, knowing that there's potential for injury. And I'm not just talking about the quarterbacks, but I'm talking about the wide receiver spot. Knowing that Terry was holding out, and this thing could go either which way. I blame Adam Peters. I blame Dan Quinn for not bringing better quality receivers who are out there into the organization just in case the deal didn't get done with Terry.
Well, I think that's the challenge, though, right? I think that's the catch-22. Did they?
No.
Or were they just not played?
I don't think they did.
And that becomes the challenge. We saw one example. As much as I absolutely love Noah, there's no excuse not to get that ball to Traylon Burks more.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too.
So that's just one example.
But Traylon Burks came late.
But she's just talking about in general not getting the opportunity.
But I'm talking about in general, you know what I'm saying?
The opportunity. Like you brought somebody in, and then when Noah gets back, then you see these guys working, and you're not you. That's like a coaching staff thing.
It is.
So she's I get her point.
Yeah,
I get you. Like in terms of like, it's just more than, to me. It's even more than receivers to everybody. Because this is what I've said before. You know, and this is why I blame Adam Peters. This is where I do blame Adam Peters. If you know, like in the situation, regardless of whatever, if you know that this guy's going to be your defensive coordinator and Joe Witt Jr. This is why I feel like Joe Witt Jr. Sometimes you put people in a situation to fail. And what I mean by that, for all the people who think I like anti Joe Witt Jr., I'm not anti Joe Witt Jr. I just think that with the talent with the players they have, he's not, and this is going to sound mean, he's not elite of a defensive coordinator to make that defense look really good. He's not that elite of a defensive coordinator. So if you're going to bring in, to me, an average defensive coordinator, and this is where I'm just being totally 100%, then you're going to have to give him a lot of talent, like top tier talent, to make sure that overrides him as a coach. You know what I mean? Because if he doesn't have, because he's not the type of coach that's going to have a lesser player play at a high level, or a guy that you're hoping to get the best out of play at a high level. He's got to have guys who are studs in certain positions, so it could it gives him time to learn and get better as a defensive coordinator. But Washington put him in a situation where we need you to elevate these players. We need you to elevate, and he's not that kind of guy. In my opinion, he's just not that kind of guy. So I blame. That's why I do. But you got to know, just like as a basketball coach, I'll tell the kid. Like I'll give my nephew an example. My nephew threw this bullet pass to a kid and he dropped it. And I told him, and it was a good pass. I told him, know your personnel, bro. Know who you're throwing the ball to.
Yeah, know who you're throwing the ball to.
So know who you're throwing the ball to. So you better it was a good pass, but you may have to lob it up so he can catch it, because he ain't good enough to catch that pass. Like the way you threw it. He's not the other kid over there who can catch it and stride it and give you a layup. So the same thing for Adam Peters as a general manager. You got to say to yourself, all right, Joe Witt Jr. may not be good enough to get these players to this certain amount of level, but if I give him enough talent, enough ball hawks, enough playmakers, maybe he'll be maybe our defense will be better as a whole, and he'll be a better defensive coordinator because he has more talent around him. And that's where I blame Adam Peters in that situation.
But it goes, I think with that, it becomes what is your program about? What is it? Right? You talk about competition, whatever. Here's like a very simple example. I'll use the one you just used, a ball hawk. But do you have ball hawks on this roster?
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Exactly.
You know what I mean? There could be, you see, you know what I mean? Because there's too many issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the other challenge became, and here's another thing that I always kind of say. Last year, the Commanders overachieved. In my opinion, they were a 7-8 win team last year. They won all 5 close of their 5 games, which is hardly ever happens. That is how they got to 12. Right? I will always say, in reality, they were always the 7-win team. That's who they were.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes the rosters, the wins and losses say, I always thought they were like 7-8 win team. You know what I mean? But those all 5, that's actually pretty daggone good, because you get close games, but you really win all 5.
Yeah, the ball bounced their way, and Jaden had the ball last.
I gotta stop you now. I gotta stop everybody. Hey, Mama Waller.
Hey,
I was waiting for you, Mama Waller. Where you been at? I was waiting for you too, Mama Waller. I was waiting for you.
Right.
We like 39 minutes into the show. I'm like, come on, Mama Waller. Where you at? Where you at?
I stayed on long for it. And so, but you know what I mean? It's exactly right. Because remember, I used to say controlling the time of possession. You all heard me say that a gazillion times. They controlled the time of possession. They controlled it. Now, here's the other thing that doesn't make sense across the board. And I asked this question last week, right, to Coach Quinn about the complementary football. Well, I mean, most of the things that they did do, they just didn't do it anymore. So 4th down only works if Jaden is playing. Complementary football only works if Jaden is playing. Like, how is that possible, right? Because we would see other teams come down, right down the field, and score. That ain't new.
Mm-hmm.
That's not new. We saw unnecessary penalty. That's not new either. But it was something about the fight that was different.
Mm-hmm.
They were gonna fight. I didn't see that anymore. Then you saw people regress in a way that it was like, well, Mikey Sainristil was out of position.
Yeah.
They put him back outside. It worked out. But there's still no what happened with Quan Martin, what's happened with Frankie Louvu.
Yeah.
Those are two on defense that I'm like, well, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
You, especially after you lost your complete pass rush, you lost that. And those were the things that throughout the season, I'm like, that just never got better.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Quan, you basically see, I mean, Quan's been getting benched pretty much every week since Madrid.
Mm-hmm. So
it's just some things that you even saw.
Oh, do you get shot? Okay.
You just saw things. You saw last year. Jaden or not, last year you saw adjustments being made much faster. Much faster. Now, to your point, about failing fast or failing forward, yeah, people can do that all day long, but at what expense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be like, because that is a leadership style. Let me be clear. You know what I mean? And oh my God, Paul, I should go and show the players your comment because I see this. They would roast you. They would roast that. Like what? But they would definitely roast that. That's why I be trying to help y'all. Like, don't say this, don't say that, don't do this, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it because everybody has their position to play.
But fans don't. I mean, because they're
never going to understand a player's perspective or anybody's perspective as a player of why they would want to be and play for like DQ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Oh, that's Trace. Okay.
I'm always listen. You know what I'm saying? But going to this comment here of lack of adjustment, you saw something happened. I don't know what it is because there were things that we all saw just a year ago, just 1 year ago, that you didn't see this year. Just that you didn't see this year, and I don't know, and they don't know either. Because it was 1 week that I honestly was like, man, if I feel like this, I don't know how Dan Quinn feels. Because I'm gonna keep time boxing this because it's important. Because just last year, people wanted Dan Quinn to be coach of the year.
Oh, I know. It's like
They wanted him to be coach of the year, and people just so fickle that it's like, come on, man. Like, I do agree about some things, but come on, you know what I mean? Like, come on. You just wanted the man to be coach of the year. Half of the old guys that they signed or re-signed, everybody was elated when they got re-signed. And I'm just watching everybody change. I'm watching everybody change. I'm watching the coaching staff change. I'm watching the players change. I'm watching the fan base change. And I'm like, what happened here?
To that point, Candy, I think with the player situation, I agree with Dan Quinn. Everybody wanted Dan Quinn to be coach of the year. But I think everybody thought this team was one win, one player away from the Super Bowl, right? They didn't remember that this team got blown out in the NFC Championship, and so you looked at the offseason. You looked at the offseason with rose-colored glasses on, and not looking at the facts. This defense was still terrible last year. Let's be honest.
That's my point, Glenn. Glenn, you are spot on.
Nobody remember that.
Jaden had to save him every week because. I said, did everybody forget the Atlanta Falcons game that I brought up so many times when Jaden Daniels was exhausted out of his mind?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that young man so tired. And that's when Marcus came up, told him, hey, catch your breath. This is in the third. He was exhausted. And I will always say they won that football game because the Washington Commanders won the coin toss and Jaden was in his bag.
Mm-hmm.
He was
the Tampa game thing.
Exhausted. Oh yes, he did what he needed to do to get them where into field goal range.
Yep.
and then it was the dunk to the division.
And then we can go back a game before the Cowboys game.
Absolutely.
So when you
And
look at it,
in that game, they were playing the backups. The defense was playing the
Correct.
backup on offense. On offense, I mean, because the Cowboys defense was still playing. Michael was still out there when Jaden was out there. But yes, Glenn, yes, you are absolutely correct. And that's why I'm like, well, why is everything different now? Is it because it's illuminated? Because 1 year is not a long period of time.
yeah,
But that's also why it's so concerning that there's such a regression in all places. Now, what I will say, here's what I will say to your point: the defense had issues last year; those did not get addressed. We'll never really know if the pass rush got addressed. You want to know why? Because the pass rush started getting hurt in week 2, from week 2 to week 7.
right.
The
True.
pass rush was gone, week 2 to week 7. So you never really know, right? But that still doesn't change the fact that there was some regression with a couple of players that were here last year. That needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
The other thing that should be addressed on offense, you mean to tell me you got to have your everything in a perfect place in order to just be able to maneuver? That shouldn't be the case.
No,
And
you go ahead.
Nobody can do anything when you go scoreless with the majority of your starters in December. Nobody can do anything.
Yeah, I would say it's like the pass rush. I always feel like it's always depending on who you play, right? The pass rush, even when healthy, look good when they played against so-so teams. Like when they played against the Giants, they played against the Raiders, right? The pass rush looked good.
Well, yeah, you ain't see them no more. You ain't get a chance.
But then when they played against like the Packers or somebody, they had no pass rush.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dietrich got hurt at the beginning of the game, and then it was like they couldn't adjust to Dietrich being out, and that's what I couldn't figure out. Remember last year, people would get hurt, things would happen, they would get nicked up, they would adjust.
Yeah, and even that's my point. Like Dietrich, and it's like a Dietrich Wise shouldn't be like your best. That's what I'm talking about off season. That's what I'm talking about the off season. A Dietrich Wise isn't somebody you need to rely on to get your pass rush. Like he's supposed to be a rotational dude. Like that's and even his time in the Patriots, he was never like a guy you really. He was a rotation. He was a good pass. He was a decent pass rusher, but he's a rotation dude. So it shouldn't be a point when you're attacking like free agency. Like you got your dudes and you got guys who can kind of be like your rotational dudes, right? And to me, Dietrich Wise is supposed to be your rotational dude.
But
you shouldn't be.
They made Von Miller the rotational dude.
Yeah, that too. Like he's supposed to be a rotational dude.
Yeah, he was only supposed
but
to
now he has to play another role. You know what I mean?
Another role.
Right.
That's why I don't get it. Like one, I don't get on Von Miller for what I'm happy with Von Miller, to be real with you. The production he's got at this point. But like he's supposed to be a rotational dude. They didn't tackle it to a point where say, hey, we need to get a guy who get you constant pressure. Dorrance, I'm giving Dorrance all his flowers. Like Dorrance get constant
Dorrance
pressure.
was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing. Losing Dorrance hurt. So I put up there. But on the other side, getting another guy who could get you 10, that can probably get you 10 sacks, that can probably get you close to 10 sacks. That's what they were missing to me. I don't think they really adjusted getting that in the offseason. That was like something. I think they were worried more about getting sacked by committee. That's how I looked at their situation. They were looking at getting sacks by committee rather than getting like a guy.
But if you look at the philosophy of this team in the offensive season for the defense was to get bigger. It wasn't a pass rush.
The Eagles,
they got bigger because they didn't want anything between the tackles. Yeah. So they figured if we can stop what's between the tackles, then that will flush everything out. That whoever we put on pass rush will get that, which worked earlier. Which is why Dorian Armstrong, before he went out, had 5-6 sacks in about 6 games. Or he was he was getting averaging a sack a game. But when you lose that, and you lose that edge, you don't have that. So part of the game plan, Dan Quinn's game plan or Dan Quinn's scheme, because I'm blaming on Dan Quinn, because I'm gonna blame Dan Quinn for this because he's the defensive guru in the house. Let's be honest.
He's the real guru.
He's the defensive guru in the house. So his defensive guru plan was to be bigger, but without thinking and not drafting. I don't care in what round. Draft a younger edge rusher or bring another younger edge rusher in here
who has speed.
Yes, which they did not do. Because remember, we talked. You put Chase Young in the chat. There were still talks in DC last year
about
bringing Chase. A rumor Rumor. And
That was real,
and I'm giving Chase his flowers, but it was a rumor, right?
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah,
you
it
look
was
at
real.
Candy brought up the Chicago Bears. Look at Montez Sweat.
They all having good
Again,
years. Yeah.
They all having good years. So you don't have and they still relatively young guys.
They are
so
young,
they didn't bring in to your point. Dietrich Wise is an older guy, a veteran. They didn't bring any younger guys in to help learn or to move on to match Jordan McGee and those guys.
That was supposed to be Javonte. That was supposed to be Javonte.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be Javonte Jean-Baptiste, who was injured. He tore his pec week 4.
Right.
Javonte was starting. Yeah, he was starting to look good as well. Tore his pec. Then he gone for the season. But even still, to that point, you go through Dietrich, Javonte, Dorrance, and you're a wrap without Dorrance at that point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Now, what I will say is, hey, you got to see, when you see something, you got to say something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to see something, you got to say something. It should, I have repeated it over and over again. Once you got to week 7, and I asked the question, did you consider taking over play calling? Everybody assumed I was talking about defense. I let everybody know then in my coverage, and I said it then, I was talking about whoever. The only person who was safe, in my opinion, was special teams coordinator Larry Izzo. That was it. I said I asked that question very generally because there were things that needed to be changed, not just on defense, but also on offense, because it just looked like they didn't know what to do. And I'm like, somebody's got to know what to do. So a change should have been made. I said week 4 was my threshold for defense. Week 7 was my threshold for offense. Changes didn't get made until Madrid, which you saw a different defense, even with less resources, funny enough. But at that point, it's too late. Your season is done, at that point, pretty much. So everybody's got some lessons to learn. Let's be abundantly clear. It's not like everybody's scot clean and scot clear. But you have to be smart. You have to be smart and not reactive. Cliff will probably get another job.
Yeah.
Or they'll mutually agree to part ways. You know what I'm saying? It'll be something like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that win, Mama Walker.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't worried about. I ain't worried about Cliff. I'm worried about Witt. I don't know if Witt
and
get
so
another job.
and then I'm.
I don't never. No.
Right, and I mean, and then even when you look at some of the numbers, Commanders' numbers offensively, 2024 to 2025, Paul is in the numbers. Check out them numbers. From 2024 to 2025 offensively. I mean, like everything. It is. They were top 10 and daggone near every single category, right? Offensively, almost every category. Literally, it was insane. This year, not so much, right?
Yeah.
We can easily attribute that to injuries. Defense, they're still pretty much the same, quite frankly. You know what I mean? They might have been a little bit better in some areas, in some spaces, but not that much. So you end up kind of doing the process of elimination based on where the consistent issues are. But while you still want to be attractive and desirable, you got to keep what players like, and you got to keep or get rid of what keeps you. I mean, like I said, without Jaden, they weren't making the playoffs, but they definitely could have won more football games.
Hey, Candy, we gotta let you go because it's almost kickoff time. We had you for a long time. This is the longest we ever had you.
Thank you so much, Candy.
We almost had you on during their hour. That's what's up. Hey, Candy,
we're not gonna stop working. We're gonna still be working. It's gonna be a very long off season. There's a lot of movement overall in the league right now, a ton of movement. So this is going to be interesting to say the least. And yeah, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff going on. What I hope people don't do is keep, but they're gonna do it anyway. They just gonna keep recycling, staff that's been fired from other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how it works out. Hey, Kenny, before we let you go, how can folks catch you on social media and catch the great work of Bowie TV?
Follow me on X at Seavall SE. And everywhere else, Candy Waller, Bowie TV. Make sure you're subscribed to Bowie TV. Make sure you're following Bowie TV or Bowie TV Sports on all platforms. If you are in the Prince George's County, Maryland area, and you have not cut your cable, make sure, and you have Comcast, Bowie TV is on channels 190 and 1097. And hey, let's just make, actually, listen. This ain't the 4-win game. I was miserable 2 years ago. I am not miserable right now. This is all right. It's cool.
All right. All right, Candy. Enjoy the game. Candy. We'll link up. All right.
Link up. Bye, Candy. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Who's wrong one? Sorry. Yeah. You talking about Shedeur? Yeah. Game winning drive for Shedeur. That's what's up, man. Paul talking about Shedeur. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You talking about game winning drive? I'm so happy. Like, that's another team that's like, we are moving up in this draft. Like, we lose this game. Like, I'm watching it. Our draft stat, like, I'm looking at the Giants. Well, we can't catch the Giants. If we lose, like, the Giants will be ahead of us. We are in a great position in this draft. Like, we could be a top 5 pick. Like, and look, I don't even have to ask this team to lose. Like, I don't even have them, like, the bench players. They can just do it on their own. They do it on their own.
Exactly.
Like, they can say we don't worry about draft picks. Those players can say that. Hey, thank you. You helped me out anyway. Your play is worried about draft picks. Put it that way. Your play is helping me with my draft. My draft status. Your play. Thank you. But yeah, it's a lot to unwind with that. I mean, obviously, like, you're the head coach. You're part of this, so you are at fault. You know what I mean? You're part of it. You're the lead. Like, I think DC Slim said it on the in the chat. You're the CEO, so it does fall on you. You know what I mean? Like, if something's not going right, you have to make an adjustment. You know what I mean? Regardless of these reports even though I'm kind of iffy about because of the source of the report, she's not really all the way like accurate. So it's just like
no, she is not to be trusted.
So
like everything
when you hear those
reports with a grain of salt
about Dan Quinn, Cliff and Adam Peters not be on the same wavelength, and that's kind of weird to me. That's like it's an OC. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of weird that it's an OC and GM. Like, that's kind of odd to me. It makes more sense for it to be the OC and the head coach, right? They're not on the same wavelength. Not the general manager and the OC. Like, that's not a thing. You know what I mean? That's
not normally, although I can sort of see how in this situation it could be.
Yeah, it could be, but again, the source, because of the source, it's like now, because it's not a normal, it's not a normal report, and also it's the source. So it's like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, do I think there's issues with Cliff? I'm not saying there's no issues with Cliff, but I'm just saying that, like, the way that was phrased, it was kind of weird to me. Put it that way.
Well, and let's remember something. The way they botched.
It was Diana Rossini.
Marie Rossini. Yeah. Josina Anderson.
She always reports, and she reports a lot for Watson, and she's not right a lot. That's the problem. She's not right.
Yeah. She's all over the board.
Yeah.
And I want to say this. There definitely has been alignment issues. The way everything was handled with Jaden with the Minnesota game and thereafter tells me that.
Yeah. So that's a head coach. That should be head coach to GM, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That wouldn't be a OC to GM. That would be. Hey, when our lines aren't. I don't care if put it this way. I don't care if the OC wants Jaden out there. You're the head coach, so you should say.
But that's the question.
But here's the question: do they set the organization up that way that they have an open door to Adam Peters, or is Adam Peters that involved? Jerry Jones is that he and Cliff has that conversation. You know what I'm saying? That they leave Dan out, or Dan wants to.
That's messy then. That is messy. That's my point. Like, if that's the setup, if that's the structure, it's a bad structure. That's why I'm saying, like, it's hard for me to go and say that is the source is off. So for me to lean on this source is terrible. The source is a bad source. Like, the person who's created, I'll say the source, the person who reported this is off a lot. Yeah. So it's like, so why? Just because it's out there doesn't mean I have to believe it. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
Correct.
I have to depend. If it's Adam Schefter, I believe it. I'm going to be like, yes, it's okay. This is happening.
Yeah, because
You know
source
what
is
I mean?
different. I got you.
It's like, and no shock. If Glenn is saying or George is saying this, I'm not going to all around believe it because they may just be saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
right.
Yeah,
somebody showed me a
all
track
we're
record.
saying is from opinion. It's not like we have sources.
Yeah, we say
inside
from
the
opinion. That's what I'm
organization.
saying. Like that's why I'm saying that. Not like if you had sources, obviously. But we have a person who habitually is wrong.
Yeah.
Not to be. I'm trying to say this nicely, but habitually is wrong. You know what I mean? So
Hey, before we get there, I want to add some things Candy said, right?
go ahead.
And so Candy said this to talk about the stats from last year and this year. So I want to share some numbers, right?
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders last year was 5th in the NFL points from offense, right? 5th.
Mhm.
This year they're 25th, right?
Yeah.
They dropped significant 8 points per game, right? 8
Mhm.
points per game less. Last year they averaged 28.5. This year they averaged 20.8. Defensively, this is to your point. This defense is worse, right? This defense this year to coach to DC Slim, they worse DC Slim. Last year they gave up 391 yards and 23 points a game. This year this defense gives up 434 yards per game, right? And give it 434 yards per game and giving up 27.1 points per game, which is 27th.
Where does that rank them?
27th in the NFL. Right. So
I'm
again,
surprised
listen,
it's only 27th.
right.
Surprised
So
it's not 30th or 31st.
27th in the NFL total offense. They've lost 1,139 yards. Last year they averaged 6,000 yards. They get over 6,000 yards this year, over 5,000 yards. The other one that was real significant to me this year that I looked at, and this is a positive. Last year the offense allowed the offensive line average gave up 50 sacks. This year they only gave up 37. Right. So and also passing touchdowns are less by 11. Last year they had 29 passing touchdowns. This year is only 18 passing touchdowns by the Washington offense. And the turnover differential last year was a +1. This year they are -12. So when you're talking about things, and again, I gotta lean with DC Slimness, and I know we got games getting kicked off.
No, it's at 25. You got time.
It's 25. Some of that is injuries, but some of that's coaching too.
I agree with that.
A lot
too.
of that's coaching for
A
me.
lot of that. When you look at these numbers and you look at that the one, like I said, the one that stood out to me, that 400, you give it up 434 yards a game. And this is not to just, it's not like you played the who's the top offense in the league right now. It's not like you played the Rams. Not like you played the Rams. Not like you played the Rams.
Or
Rams
Detroit.
and Detroit every week, right?
Yeah,
you played some teams that didn't do anything.
You played Atlanta. You played Atlanta.
You played Atlanta,
and they made
Right.
work out of you, man.
They made work out of you.
They played Minnesota, whose offense
Right,
wasn't
they played
great.
Minnesota.
They played them.
True.
Minnesota.
True. All true.
So again, that is, and at that time, Dan Quinn was in charge. That's Dan Quinn, y'all. And I'm not trying to be fooled. And I'm not drinking the DC some Kool-Aid, but to be realistic, when you defense give up 434 yards, everything on that defense should be fired or should be let go. Every coach.
And
related to
allied to that point, allied to your point, Glenn, and this is why I've got my issues, not just the defense, that we take that as kept at this point, but with Cliff, because Candy said it multiple times. They did not use their talent that they had. They did not maximize their talent that they had. Both sides of football. Both sides of the football. I mean, with all the injuries they had, that defense probably couldn't have been better than 20th. But if it had been 20th instead of 27th, this is a team that maybe is competing for the last playoff spot, maybe. Certainly on offense they didn't, because she talked about it. Eckler went down, but you still had a pretty healthy group at running back who was productive, except you didn't run the football. And that's why at the very least, both these coordinators got to get out of here.
And to y'all point too, we talk about snap count. We talk about Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner probably playing his last game today as a Washington Commander.
Why did you have to play? Why does he have to play? Look, DC, this is my problem. I have a problem.
I'm telling you,
my problem, man.
Last week he played all 92 snaps.
I ain't want to say this with Candy on, because I know that she likes the vets or whatever, but I'm like so anti-vets right now. Like I've been mad at it. No, I ain't gonna lie. I've been mad at it because it's for like in terms of development. Like I feel like people like depending on where you are. I'm gonna say this as a coach. I'm gonna be real. I say this as a coach, as a basketball coach. like you need to get experience when we talk about player development. When we talk like this is such a wasteful game. Like for real. Like there's nothing for a vet to play in this game for.
Nothing.
Like the Eagles aren't playing nobody, bro.
Unless you're Von Miller, you're playing for your million.
If you're playing for like unless you're playing for like your bonus, right? Your incentive, right? Yeah, I get that. But like that's why I wanted him to play. Wanted some of these dudes to play the last 4 games of the season because we don't. This is the issue. Like we don't complain about it when it's the quarterback. When it's a quarterback, we're like, okay, season's over. They can play these last 4 games to get experience, right? We're not saying, oh, play the better vet or this, that, and that. We're saying play the or whatever. We're saying play the quarterback. He needs experience, right? What's the part of this part of the season is doing nothing. It's futile. It's nothing. So to me, the last 4 games, why not play a McGee in the last 4 weeks of the season?
Madrano.
Madrano. No, I'm gonna be real. Guys who are good, quality players.
To your point, I had to go back and look. McGee has played a lot in the last 4 games.
No, he's a lot. See, that's not about a lot. I'm not talking about that. Play his position. Play the middle linebacker. He didn't play Mike. He's been playing outside. He's been in the third corner. Yeah, he's been playing the third linebacker. When she talk about somebody being benched, Quan being benched, Quan gets benched at safety. They put in it's Rero and the other safety. So that and then and Will Harris. Sorry, and Will Harris. It's Will Harris, right? It's Harris, right?
Yeah, Will Harris. McGee also plays whenever you see Luvu out on the edge or down at the D line.
McGee's in there, but
McGee's in there.
Yeah, exactly. McGee needs to. I want to see McGee and Mike. That's where he got drafted at, and that's he's supposed to be Bobby's replacement. Play him and Mike. Let's see if he's a real Mike.
Correct. I agree.
You got 4 games. That's player development. Give him 4 games, and then in the offseason if he can't play or can play that position. But
again, goes to Candy's point. That's why the veterans like Dan Quinn, because he's not going to do that. She's not going to say that.
Yeah,
that's why the older guys like Dan Quinn because he's going to look out for
I agree. That's my problem with him.
He's going to look out for Luvu, and he's not going to play the young guys. So I want to come to Washington because you're going to look out for me because I'm the older vet who wants to come to Washington.
I'm going to look out, but those are old vets. I don't want the players who like. No knock on these players. I don't care about players who done like who ain't the same. They're not the same player. I don't care about those vets. I'm talking about like you got a young. Like I need to know. In the offseason, if I'm a general manager, if I'm a coach, I need to know if this dude could play that position next year. I need to like the same thing they're assessing Mikey Sanders still. They got to know if he's going to be a starter outside cornerback. Period. They got to know starter. You got to know. That's what you got to know what you have. Like these 4 games let you know what you have. It's the same thing how we assess quarterbacks. When there's a quarterback, say you start the season, we want to play our vet quarterback. That's what we want to play the vet quarterback. That's fine. All right, when the guy sit behind. Your vet quarterback is losing, right? The season's over. What typically happens? They play the rookie, right? So we get to assess the rookie. We get to assess if he is ready to be our starter. If we like what we see in the next season, he becomes our starter. If we don't, then we'll go somewhere else. That's what happens. How come we not do it? How come we don't do that with this situation? Like, how come we're not saying, all right, like Jazon Newton's a prime example. He got he was a rotational dude. He got all the snaps this time. And what did he do against Dallas?
Nah, he was rotational. I had to go back and watch.
But he played most of it. He played most of like more than he normally did.
Yeah, 56 out of 92.
More than he ever did. That's more than he ever did.
Yeah.
That's more than he ever did. You gave him more. You gave him uptick in snaps. And he got 3 sacks.
And they took him off the field, which is crazy to me. This is what I was talking about when I was at the game and I watched it. They took him off the field. Dan Quinn, and I don't know if it's sabotage. I'm not saying the dude sabotaging third downs, but you took the guy that was everywhere off. He says you took him off the field on third down pressure situation.
Look, I'm just saying. Now Deron Payne is back. That's why I asked, is he playing? He back.
Not Newton's snaps better not go down though.
It better not go back. That's what I'm saying. It better not be going down to fit. It better not. That is my point. That is not player development. That's what I'm saying. We can
Deron ain't gonna be here. Let's be honest. Deron ain't gonna be here next year.
Well, real talk. Even if he's here or not, like he shouldn't. Even if he's here or not, but that's not player. Money. But that's not player development. I mean, no. They take. I heard that if they cut him, it's a hit. It's a salary hit. So it's not a
older player though.
No. But I mean, it's a salary hit. I'm saying it's salary hit's different. But I'm just saying like they can trade him as a different beast though. They can trade him, that'd be good. Yeah. But like again, that's my point. You gotta develop your players. You gotta develop these young players. If you're still worried about older dudes, then you're not. When a season that's over, it's dead money. Yeah, that's that. You don't want that dead money.
Yeah, you want them.
Yeah. So if you're gonna if you're not developing young dudes and you're worried about older dudes, then what is it? What are you doing? You're not cultivating an environment. You're not cultivating growth as a young player. Because these are the same folks. Don't forget, folks were saying old boy was a bust. Newton was a bust. They were calling him like a bust. Now he gets a good game because he gets a good amount of work. And now it's like, now people are thinking, is he a bust?
And you really gotta go look at it too, because the sacks that he got was him. It wasn't a scheme.
It was him.
It was him recognizing where the open hole was at.
Agreed.
And getting it. I went back and watched film this week. I usually don't do it, but I had to go see what made Newton so good. And that was the fact that he was was able to find the open gap after being blocked and getting off blocks using his hands, which, by the way, he got some good hands to get off. I'm not saying he's Jalen Carter, but he got some good hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that this is the point where now, if you're not playing in this meaningless game, again, it's a meaningless game. If you're not playing them in this meaningless game, you're worried about these vets.
Can't Philly still get the number 2 seed?
No, they're not. Well, they're bench their players. They bench their players.
So they can't get the number 2.
No, they can. They don't care.
Still get the 2 seed.
They don't care.
Washington's so bad they think they can win anyway.
They're playing their third. They're playing their backup. They're playing their backups.
Oh, Saquon bench too?
Yes, they're playing their backups.
Yo, I'm sorry.
They're playing their backups.
I know Saquon's a team player.
Yeah.
And I looked at the incentives this week. He's missing a lot of money, right? And I know he probably don't care, but I mean, he's missing some good.
Well, I don't know if he's not playing, but I know AJ Brown ain't playing. I know Devontae Smith ain't playing. Their good players aren't playing. I don't know if he's not playing. So I'm just telling you, this game is meaningless, like in the grand scheme of things.
It's not meaningless for Philly. They just think they can win.
No. It's meaningless because they're not playing nobody. That's why it's meaningless.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not playing, Jalen Carter's not playing. Get my point? Yeah. Like, obviously they don't care enough about the number. Put it this way, they don't care enough about the 2 seed, because they did care about it like that. Them dudes will be playing. Jalen Hurts will be playing.
True.
If I care about seeding, I'm not playing my backups. So they don't care. That's what I'm saying. Their actions tell me they don't care. Because Jalen Hurts played last week, right?
Yeah.
He ain't playing this week. They don't care.
Yo, if Saquon ain't playing, man. If Saquon ain't playing today, he's a team player, because he needs, like, I think it's 50 yards from scrimmage to get 1,500, and he's missed, and that's an extra $500K.
Oh, then he'll play. The money players the players that need an incentive will play, and they'll be gone. Put it this way, he will play, but he's not playing the whole game.
No, he's not playing the whole game.
That's my point. Like, they don't care. That's what I'm saying. They don't care. That's and Washington is, like, to their point, Washington is bad enough. Like, they think they can beat them with backups.
Yeah.
Because I would rather want a guarantee than play my backups.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I take a risk of playing my backups who could throw picks and this, that, and the other? Obviously, they don't care about the 2 seed like that.
Yeah, they about health.
Look, here you go.
I think they should, but they don't.
They should.
Philly cares more about healthy than agreed.
But the healthy gives them another. Well, again, goes to Georgia's point. They think they can beat Washington without their starters,
well,
which gives
I'm
them
telling you, like, they think. Well, that shows your level of care, though, because any normal. I don't care. You're playing backups, so you're playing backups regardless. Like, so. You're putting yourself at you're putting yourself at a chance to lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you don't care. If you care, you're not taking the risk. That's the point.
True.
If you care, you're not taking that risk.
They
don't care.
Hey, Taj, I think dominoes start to fall later on tonight, brother. If you get back to Taj's question, dominoes fall later on tonight, because I think first coaches get fired. Also, you asked the question, Taj, was eating for dinner, man's fried fish and fries, about to go to a restaurant, man. Buddy owns.
And I will say this too, honestly, I think they're not playing folks too because of what happened with the fight. That too.
Yeah.
No, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So and Washington has nothing to lose, and they have everything to lose. That's another thing.
But by the way, Paul, the reason players like DQ and they're still losing is that there's a lack of accountability. It's something DC Slim has talked about that I think is
I kind of think
quite right.
I think that's the truth. I do think that's the truth too as well. I think that
the cliches though. I go to DC. He keeps selling that witch oil, because again, I don't care who you are, and I have some great coaches, right? And I've been in some good locker rooms where you've been 12 and whatever, or you've been 4 and whatever. you hate it. Losing makes people
sucks,
hate.
Man.
Losing sucks, and they lost 8 in a
man.
row. And then what Candy said too, some things are Washington. The problems that Washington have this year, they had last year. We said it, but winning covers a lot of problems.
Yes,
winning covers problems, and so when you was winning, it covered the problems. They
agree.
didn't lose more than 2 games in a row last year. When they did lose 2 games last year, everybody was talking about how badly the defense was. Wole came on here and said, "Man, the run defense sucks." You know what I'm saying? right.
Yeah.
So again, but when you win, when you start losing, the spotlight is on everything.
There you go.
The spotlight, and so this year the spotlight was on everything because this team lost 8 games in a row. It had to be accountability, right? They knew Joe Witt Jr. was over his head last year, but Jaden bailed him out. Is what it is. We knew they was over their head last year. We knew they didn't have any corners last year. We knew Marshawn Lattimore. I think we came on here and said Marshawn Lattimore was there after the AJ Brown situation. Like, I don't know if that was a good trade or not. You know what I'm saying? So again, the problems were there. They just didn't want to address it because they was blinded by the fact that they made an NFC championship, which was a curse. This team they don't make the NFC championship and loses the first round to and we lose the first round to Tampa Bay.
Or lost to Detroit. They lost to
Detroit. Or lost to Detroit. There might have been a different story. But when you get to the NFC championship game and you get exposed, you are like, oh, we just 1 player away, 2 player. Oh, I'm gonna beef up my defense. Yeah. They got tricked. They started drinking their own sauce instead of looking at the facts or the analytics that they want to look at. So
no, I agree. I think that I do kind of think in that regard that the NFC championship game made them feel like they were so close to the Super Bowl. But on the flip side, I would say this to that though. That's just bad. That'd be bad. That'd be a bad thought process if I'm the GM, because when the team put up 50 on you, you should think differently, like thoroughly differently. And I felt like, look, man, I'm gonna keep saying it. I like local dudes. Kinlaw had a decent year, but the money you gave him to play that position ain't worth it. Like you should have brought. You should if you want to put that money into getting somebody here, you gotta get a game changer. Like, because that's what it is. Because even if you don't like, Jonathan Allen, on his best, he's a game changer. Kinlaw's best, he ain't a game changer. He's a good run stopping player though. Like they were more fixated, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I know Candy said like Adam Peters, knows how to develop a good team, right? But really he's green to it because this is his first job as a general manager, like a true general manager. He's been under John Lynch. He's been in New England in that staff, but he's not been the guy. Like being the guy is different from being a guy under someone. You know what I'm saying? So like now the buck lies with you now. Like you suggest, you make suggestions, and people listen. But now people suggest to you, and now you have to listen, and you have the final call. Like, you know what I mean? It's different. It's totally different.
Hey, just another note, man. The NFC, if you guys are looking, anybody curious, the NFC top 7, NFC 7 teams already locked in. Like the afternoon games are just replacement. Yeah, I mean, Carolina's in. So that means
Carolina's in because Carolina's clinched it.
Yeah, because Atlanta won.
Oh, they're in, right?
It was a 3-way tie. All the teams were 8 and 9.
Okay.
But Carolina gets in first time since 2015.
No, I'm talking about the bottom. My bad, bro. I'm talking about NFL draft. You talking about the playoffs?
No, that's not locked in yet. If Washington loses, they can't do worse than 5th, and they could even go as high as 3 if the Jets and Cardinals win.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jets. Who the Jets playing?
The Jets are playing. I think it's
Buffalo.
All right, that's done. We're not going up. That's done.
Just playing Buffalo.
That's BTA on that one. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Buffalo.
All right, the other one, the Cardinals. That's an interesting one. The Cardinals. Who are the Cardinals?
Yeah, they're playing the Rams, who do have something to play for, because if the Rams win, they're 5 and get to go to Carolina. But if Sean McVay's been known for resting people at the end of the season.
They play Carolina. If they win, they play Carolina.
Yeah, when they play Carolina.
They win, they play Carolina.
They're gonna win.
You would think so, but Sean McVay is rested people with seating on the line before.
Well, Carolina beat
this
Carolina
different though, because now this dictates it. This different.
But Carolina beat them last time, so that's
yeah.
But that's the other thing. Washington does have the tiebreaker on the Giants because of strength of schedule. It's not head to head when it comes to draft position.
So,
well, wait. It's not. We beat them twice, so we're not over them because of that.
Doesn't matter. So strength of schedules while they do draft position, not in
It's the
terms of how
same,
they
we got the
finish.
same, don't we got the same schedule as them? No, can we play the same?
No, ours is worse apparently.
Yeah, hey Paul,
How about that?
Paul, that's what I said, Paul. You know,
Are you
this team-
serious? So it's
this
not
team
like
didn't
because you
win
beat
Yeah,
any
Florida?
game.
JP Finley just tweeted it out. Just tweeted it out from Tankathon.
Yep, this team didn't
man.
win any game.
So we can jump them? We can jump them?
Yes. Yes.
So we could be 4.
Yeah.
Caleb Downs,
they-
baby.
Because they lost to the
Yes.
because
Yes.
they beat the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, God is good, man. God is good. The
Yeah.
Cowboys are the gift that keeps on giving. One way look, man, there's something I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They like
I'm on the same team as you,
let
Glenn, by the way. Caleb Downs
I,
all the way. Yes.
I will say this. Look, the Cowboys, man. I'm gonna say I love. Sometimes I love Dallas. Sometimes I do love Dallas because like we ended their we let the Eagles the Eagles beat us, which ended their season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and give us this blessing. Like they really present us with this blessing of beating the Giants. All we gotta do is lose, and we can be like 4. Dog, why are we playing some of these players, man?
Hold
Like,
up.
why are we playing some of these?
Hold up.
If Terry McLaurin is playing, I'm gonna be pissed. Bench Terry now, man. Don't even play this dude.
And why Dan got a job tomorrow? I'm on that right. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You 4-12. 4-12. George, you said it. 4-12, and they won
We
one
could be
game.
4-13, bro.
4-13, and one win out of the last 10.
Well,
what, Santiago? Why you want to win?
Well,
Santiago, what is Santiago? We're gonna play their bench players, Santiago. Why you want to win, buddy? Why?
Yeah,
Why do you want to win, dog?
You draft the
Why?
best player on the board. Hey, with 4, do you trade back to get picks? That's later on in the line. Sorry, we talk about that later.
So yeah, let's not get into that. Let's just
I
see
ain't
where
gonna
we're
lie.
drafting first.
Damn, Downs. We get Downs, Bailey, or freaking. I ain't gonna lie. I was very impressed.
Or Reese.
I was
or
very
Arvell
impressed. Baines. I was Reese. No. Baines looked better than Reese on that
Yeah.
in that game. Baines look like that. I see it now. Baines got bend.
That's true.
Baines got bend, which we've never had. He has bend. He has quickness. Baines is like that. Like really like. I was so impressed with Baines. Oh man, golly, I'm so happy now. The Giants. That thing has made me so happy. Thank you, Giants. Thank you, Giants.
I'm not.
Was Jameis Winston playing? Was that the reason why? Was he the quarterback? Was Jameis the quarterback?
I don't know, but the Giants just rode because I think the Cowboys played all their starters. I just assumed they were going to win because they could finish 500 and
Oh,
get
they
in the season
no.
they had.
They
That
wanted
would've
to
been
win bad. They wanted to win.
They wanted to win.
They wanted to win. I know that.
Cowboys. What a laughable outfit they
No,
are.
not laughable. What a blessing. No, don't stop that. They're the gift that keeps on giving.
Hey,
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you. Hey,
start
all
you
you Dallas fans. Look with all my heart. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, we gotta get out of here. It's close, man. Any predictions? Score predictions?
Oh man, I don't care. Lose.
I mean, the Eagles are going to win. I just want to be glad that that's the game that's on CBS down here in Florida, so I actually gets to watch Washington without having to find a stream of unknown origin. I love it.
Yeah, they flexed that game, didn't they?
The 425, yeah, because of the whole thing with them and the Bears.
Yeah, they moved that game. So
They play. I see Milton play too. Or maybe they benched him. Oh,
Texas
Jackson
Tech.
Dart played. Oh, damn, Dart played that one. No, I think they played for incentives and then they benched him. Wow.
Yeah,
That could be. They let Trevor Lawrence play until he got to 4,000 and then he sat.
Yeah, Prescott got 7-11 for 70 yards and he was done. Yeah, that's the reason why they lost. Okay.
Yeah. Play me till I got my money, man. That's why fantasy football ends a week before this game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what's up, man. Damn. What did you?
All right, let's get out of here because they're really.
Yo, Clowney had 3 sacks. Hey, Todd, you in this chat? Clowney had 3 sacks. I told you we should have signed Clowney, Todd. I just want to say that again. Dang, he had 3 sacks. I'm looking at his stats.
Well, he's pulling out all the receipts today.
Clowney had 3.
No.
Man. All right, I'm good now.
Hey, but hold up. I know we gotta get out of here, but that's not in Washington. So if he'd have came to Washington, something else would have.
He would have fried, man. He would have fried him. He was balling, bro. Dallas defense was
putrid.
too. Dallas defense was putrid, bro.
Which will, I don't like Clowney's work.
I know you know. I can tell, man. It's all good. I told y'all he was good. Y'all be fighting it.
His work ethic. Before we get off the air, I want to do this because I've been a big Chase Young apologist. This year, Chase Young technique has gotten better, and he is playing. He's playing more discipline.
Cooking in that game today.
Well, he's been cooking for the last several weeks, but he's playing more discipline now. But whoever New Orleans has down there is doing a great job with Chase Young. And my hats off to him.
I'm gonna say this. I watched it. Not that much different. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna.
He wrecked the one drive.
I ain't gonna,
when they give them a chance.
I ain't gonna lie to you. This one game I thought he took a break. One game he was taking breaks.
He still take breaks.
Yeah, he take breaks. He's
still ended up with 11 and a half sacks.
I'll say this. He's healthier.
He's healthier.
He's healthier. That's the most important thing. He's healthy.
We got to show the local love when we get a chance.
Yeah, he was healthy.
We do.
Yeah. All right, y'all, man. All right. But anyway,
we'll see you after the game.
Wait, yeah. After what? Hey, I'm gonna talk to y'all before that because I may be a little late for the post game. All right, but yeah, for folks out there, make sure y'all tap into our post game show directly after the game. It's gonna be open. It's gonna be fun. The end of the season. It's gonna be the end of the season report. You know what I mean? We don't got to really worry about the outcome of this game. We're just gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna shoot the breeze.
Yes.
Man. Yep. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate everybody for pulling out. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia for ages. Yeti deuces. We are out. Peace.